I just want to start off by saying it seems like season 2, you have there's a lot of men on missions and women on missions, and like everybody seems to have a very strong forward progression here. And I was wondering if the actors could talk about the very strong character work that we've seen already in the first episode here, and the unknown path that lays before them, and then if the creative team could talk a little bit about making sure everybody gets something to do and is a strong character.
Forgive me, I literally forgot the majority of the scenes that we shot first season. I'm serious, because we've, and it goes to your question, because we start in such different places than we originally played with the most in the first season, and the arcs of all the characters is pretty extreme and very big, and we all go through some pretty insane changes and mix-ups through the course of the 10 episodes in the second season. So we forget sometimes, you know, because we go so many different places. But for myself, what I loved about the way we started the second season, and as it continues, is we take, you know, this iconic character, Seth Gecko, the mouthpiece of the Gecko brothers, who always is the showman, acts like he has it together, and we rip him apart from his primary codependent relationship he has with Richie. You know, he's never operated in any other way, just the two of them as a duo. And we rip him apart in a pretty strong way at the end of the first season. So what happens when that guy is at his absolute worst, you know, under the rock? He's just completely destitute, down and out, and at his lowest, absolute lowest point. So that was really fun to explore, and as the season goes on, we rebuild parts of him, and we watch him kind of, you know, his arc starts at the lowest, then he goes to all these other crazy places. So it was very satisfying to play different sides of this guy.
It sounds like Richie's handling the separation better.
Yeah. Well, he found an age-appropriate girl to hang out with, and you know, I found heroin, so.
I'll speak about Richie, thank you. Yeah, I think the main difference for my character this season is we're kind of seeing him, like you said, we're all on missions, but for this time, I'm on a mission without my brother. So the history of my character is we've always worked together as a duo, and obviously at the end of season 1 we split, so now I'm in this new partnership with Santanico, and I'm trying to see how that's going to be different for me. Richie was always kind of the number 2 guy to Seth in our history, and now that I'm working with Santanico, I think he thinks that maybe he can kind of call the shots and he can kind of be the guy who's driving stuff, but maybe
like real life, always women call the shots.
So maybe we'll find he's, you know, falling back into the same place he was before. But it's cool, you know, aside from trying to plan these jobs and this mission that we have to pull jobs against Malvado, he's in a relationship and he's trying to see what it's like to have his first girlfriend. And I think all that stuff is fun for me to play and hopefully cool for the audience to see play out.
I think for Santanico, you got in the first season just a little glimpse of what she was. You know, you got to see this woman who comes out, and you really don't understand what is her role in this history. And I think in this whole story, and I think in the second season, you really get to see not just in my character itself, but in every other character, through more three-dimensional story in every single one of them. You know, you get to see the more human side of every character. You get to see more of a, you know, the first season is all played out in a day, and this season is more of like a lot of things going on. And so the characters become very three-dimensional. People, they become real people, but then you get to see that there's bad and worse, and even worse, and you get to see the really dark side of the humans itself. And so I think that for Santanico, you get to see what is her goal, where is she going, and how is she preparing herself, and how is, in a way, she partners up with Richie, and she's kind of becoming, she's creating her army, and she's planning to destroy something that is destroyed. You get to see in the first episode how the backstory of how she's been, and you'll get to see throughout the whole season how she's been ripped to pieces by this Malvado character, and how she's been destroyed, and then you get to see all this side of vengeance from her, and it's really beautiful for me how this second season, it all plays out together. You know, you get to see how every single character that everyone will tell you just get to like have like a relationship. And for me, like the key part of the season is that we all become chess pieces. You know, if you move one, everything moves. It's just a play, and it's like, I feel the feel of this season is like you never can leave you always have to be looking back, because you don't know who's going to betray you. So it's really interesting this whole season.
And you know, for my character, first of all, thank you everybody for being here today. Really cool you guys are here. You know, there's a lot of excitement going on the show. You know, that each character. You know, what I think what Quentin and Robert established was some of the most intriguing characters of cinema. You know, and you really wanted to see where these characters will eventually go. You know, what happened after that movie? What happened after the titty twister incident? And this second season, we really get to breathe. We really get to walk with these characters and understand eventually what path would they be taking after the movie. And I think that's going to be really unpredictable and really excited and really twisted. And for my character, Carlos Madrigal, you know, last season I think you understood that, you know, for 500 years it's been, by Santanico's side, they've been building towards a prophecy, walking among the living, and what I thought was really interesting is that 500 years later, the big showdown happens. There was a betrayal. I get betrayed by the woman that I believed I loved, and I get sent to the labyrinth to get re-educated. I'm believed to not make it out, and something inside that labyrinth drove me to find that inner strength, or that rage that somehow allowed me to make it out. And you will see as this character comes out, earn his spot again within the underworld, and most importantly, executes what his real goal is. Now he's really driven by something else. Before it could have been love, it could have been the actual achieving of the prophecy. but now he comes out with a very different outlook on things. He's very, very angry.
Hello, everybody. Kate is a changed woman this season. I mean, she started off in season 1 as a bratty teenage girl who just didn't want to go to freaking Mexico in an RV with her dad and her dad. And when shit hits the fan, and it really changes her. And for me, especially, this season starts out with a choice. You know, you have me, Kate, and Seth, and they're both in the same situation. They've both lost everything. They've lost everyone they love. They've lost the path that they thought that they were on. And now you have two people that are just lost. And you see this decision happen between the two of them, and Kate is like, she's not going to let this eat her alive. She's going to go find her brother. She's going to be a family. And then you've got Seth, who's like turned to drugs. And obviously I'm an enabler. Enablers Anonymous. And I guess you'll get to see throughout this season that this is really Kate's journey towards redemption. Yeah, that's a good, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, redemption. And she was so angry at the end of last season. I think she really hated her brother. And as you can see, I must have had some kind of change, because I think I realized somewhere that he's my only family, and family is all you need. Ohana means family.
Excellent reference. Yeah. Hey guys. So on a blog I read, I'm not sure who said this, but they said that if the first season was daytime, the second season would be nighttime, because it just takes a really, really dark turn. And I think especially for my character, it's really true. And definitely for Scott, he goes through some pretty dramatic changes. He starts off just as a rebellious young teenager with like angst. And then he's traveling into this like really, really crazy criminal world. And what you'll see in season 2 is he's in some pretty bad shape. Yeah. As you see him on the chain. And
I was gonna say I don't want any spoilers, but please tell me that you recreate the Pulp Fiction "Bring Out the Gimp" scene for the rest of it. That's where you guys are going.
I don't wanna.
Yeah. Hey,
no
sorry, I
spoilers.
didn't
No
mean to
spoilers. But yeah. After all the stuff that he goes through, he's gonna take all of that, and at the end of his journey, he's gonna try to find himself. I think he's just a really lost guy, and he really wants power, and he wants acceptance, and he's looking for it in like all the wrong places, as we might see later on. But yeah, I think he just wants to find his place in the world, and he goes to this gentleman right here to find it, and takes into some crazy places. So yeah, that's coming up in season 2.
I still can't believe I'm here. I mean, I'm working with the dream team right now. I'm working with my cast and Robert and Diego and Carlos. It's I can't believe it, man. These guys are just fucking badasses, and I get to be a part of it, and I get to learn from these guys and the journey that we're all taking it together, and we all feed off of each other. No pun intended. Little bit of fun. And I'm so stoked to be here. As far as my character, I think from the first season to this season, you'll get to see him, how he, his relationship with his family, and it basically really is his relationship with the battles and inner demons with himself, and discovering who he is through this bloodline that he didn't know existed, in this whole world he didn't know existed. And there's some crazy shit that's happening, and you guys are gonna freak the fuck out when you see what we're doing.
His character becomes a super badass too. Just wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, hello everybody. I'm the token blonde guy. Show. Gotta have one of those. Yeah, it's kind of wild taking on a role called Sex Machine. It's a trip. It's been a wonderful ride with these guys, and season 1 was a lot of fun, and I kind of felt like the character that I played is Professor Tanner, who reveals himself to be Sex Machine later on down the road. He's I kind of feel like he's like sort of the Greek chorus of the show. He's a bit of an outsider, and he's not involved. He's not a family member. He doesn't have bloodlines. He doesn't have, he's not a gecko. He's got blonde hair. So he's a professor, and he spent his life sort of as an outsider, really yearning for information and knowledge and discovery of all this what's going on. And so he has, I think, a little bit more of the knowledge about all this stuff in a textbook way. And so he's not necessarily going through it on a first-hand level as much. So, you notice I wasn't in this one, but in the
make
next
up for
one,
that next week.
Yeah, well,
And presents
we're gonna do that.
There's
So-
a sex machine all over.
So
Every chain.
sex machine all over everything. No, so season 2 will be fun, and again, being a little bit of the Basil exposition and kind of I don't know. I guess sort of like the bridge between the audience and the main guys, but I tell you, it's a heck of a ride, and I'm, as Jesse said, I'm blessed to be here with these guys. It's a hell of a group.
This all sounds really cool, but we were just trying to get as many movie references in the scripts as possible, so I don't know what any of these people are talking about.
Yeah, I could tell when you had a monologue all about Burt Lancaster.
Yeah.
I was like, you're
Yeah.
speaking to me.
Well,
I don't know
it's-
about the rest of the TV audience, but I'm like, yeah.
I mean, for
Hell
us,
yeah,
look,
Train.
for us, I mean, I consider myself a caretaker of Robert and Quentin's characters, and So, you know, when this opportunity was given to me, you know, it was sort of like, how do we honor these characters? And they're so rich and there's so much great stuff going on. So season 2, I mean, rhythmically, you know, they've covered a lot of the stuff, but season 2 rhythmically is similar to season 1 in the sense that they were all disparate people from disparate backgrounds who had sort of come together and got pulled together by the events of the day, you know. And there's a very sort of similar tight timeline in season 2, and they've all been sort of sent different ways at the end of the first season. So now forces are sort of pulling them back, and they're all kind of, you know, headed toward one goal. And you know, it builds slowly but surely, but it's really about expanding the universe and also really digging deep on these characters who, you know, for me are just, you know, so rich and so, you know, just compelling.